Hi everyone, welcome back. In this video, we are going to be talking about loops. So in the last video, I have last few videos I've shown you how to in output stuffs into the terminal. The work was to actually print out numbers from 1 to 100 or a specific amount of like numbers. But the normal way we are used to doing that is using the print statement, where we do the print and then maybe number one, and then the next line we do print number two, and so on and so on until we have print 100. So this was the homework actually, to actually print all of the numbers from 1 to 100 in the terminal. So it will take, of course, 100 lines to actually print all the numbers from 1 to 100. However, the that's why we are trying to learn about how to make it more shorter. For example, if the importance of loops is that when we are actually you are given the task of printing the numbers from 1 to 100, and if the task change from printing the numbers from 1 to 1000, you cannot actually type all the lines manually, or copy paste each of the lines and change the numbers there from 1 to 1000, or even 10,000, 1,000,000. So what can you actually do to make this simple programmatically? That's why we use loops in this regard. So in this video, I'm going to show you how loops work in normally in Python, but in loops is a concept common in every programming language, and there is of course loops. It's just at one of the most basic programming concepts. So let's see we'll dive into the screen, and let's see how actually loops normally look like in Python. Okay, now we are in the VS Code, and I've opened up a new file where I am going to show you how the loops work. So I am going to print, okay, print one, and then print number two, okay, two, and then print three and four and five. So this was the the normal way to actually do this. Uh, However, the normal the when we use loops, it's pretty much the simple. In Python, when we try to print numbers from 0 to 100, we just put just this um sorry, for I in range 100, print I. This will actually do print all the numbers from 0 to 100. So it's the here you can see this is called a range function, method, whatever you want to call it. The range, whatever you give inside it, it gives you back a list of numbers from 0 to 100. And here we just iterate over, the loop mechanism, it starts with iterating over whatever you have in the list and then printing it afterwards. So let's just go back to the writing screen, and I'm going to show you a few something where we can write and understand how actually loops work. So for loops, the most basic thing that you have to know, there is the most basic type of loop is called the for loop. In C, there are other types of loop called the while loop and do while loop. Those are a bit different. We are going to primarily focus on the for loop, and we can touch about the while loop, and let's see if we can if we have time, we will also do the do while loop. So let's start with the for loop. So it's just basically for the items in a list. So for every loop, you have to give it a list of items. So for example, the list in Python, we just normally say that this is a list of numbers. So I'm just creating a list of numbers like this. So for each of the numbers, so if we consider in a loop, we take the first one and the second one and the third one within the list. So we have to get the items from the list and store it in a variable. So normally it's like general practice. We give the variable of the loop, the iterator, as I. So we give for I in this list. do something. So in our example, print the I. So print the I meaning that as we have seen in the variable example, print the I means that we are like printing whatever it is inside of the I. So for a loop consists of going through the first item. So we go to like going through again and again inside of the function. So we do this. That's why it's called a loop, because it's like keeps on looping around. And in the first iteration, it will going to take this number and put it in the I. So that's why it's going to print out number 1. And then it's going to start from the first and then go into the second item on the loop, and it will going to take this one and put it into the I, and then this print will become number 2. So that's how each of the numbers gets printed until the end of the loop. So until the end of the list. So when the list gets finished, the loop ends. So that's that's how the loop normally works. So there, you can give conditions. You can give some conditions inside of the loop to fulfill. For example, we are moving here into the while loop. So it's just normal English, where you understand while I uh, is less than, I don't know, 10, do something. So do what? Print I. So here we have some problems. In this line of code, we have some problems. I am going to erase this part. Where's my eraser? Yeah. Okay. So so there are some problems in this part of the code. We have a condition which is called the we're checking if I is less than 10 or not, but we don't know what I is. So this script is going to produce an error which will show, which will tell you that the I is not defined. So before this loop even starts, we have to define that I being, for example, 1. For this example, I can be equals to 1. You can I don't think you can see it, but I've written there I equals 1. Um, so in the for loop, we don't have to define it, because in Python, the for loop actually while it iterates, we have the I, and the I is actually defined in each of the loop instance. So it defines I with the first value of the list, and then it defines the I with the second value of the list, and so on. But here in the while loop, we have to define what the I is beforehand, and we have to check because the while expects a condition. So while this condition is met, while this condition is true, print the I. So we have the I being 1, so this will actually print out 1. So this will print out 1. Now the code will move into the next line. The next line is nothing else. So when this block is finished, it will go back and check if this condition is met or not. So this condition is still met because the I is not changing. So this will again, as this is again, this condition is correct, it is going to print again 1 in the next line, and then it will go back to the while starting of the while loop, check the condition again, and then it's going to print 1 1 1 again. So this is where we are, and it is called an infinite loop. So infinite loops are of course not used in the programming, so that's why we don't actually like infinite loops, and we have to have a way to stop it. And we can stop it using, if we say that I is equals to I plus 1. So it's just an iterative it's just operation, and then defining the new I. What it does is when you have printed the I being 1, it just adds 1 value to I. So now I at this point, I becomes not 1 but 2. The value of I is now 2. So when while starts again, it checks with the value of 10, and then it is still 2 is still less than 10, and then it prints out not 1 but 2, and then it increases by 1 again, it becomes 3, 4, 5, and so on until it becomes 10. So when I becomes 10, this 10 is not actually less than 10. So this is the point that this condition is no longer met, and then the code escapes this while loop and goes into the next line. So that is how normally the while loop actually works. So this is the the more or less the important part that you need to know about loops and while loops in Python. And we are going to like see more of this when we uh, talk about like NumPy and other like listing methods where we use like in like when we are training neural networks and stuff. But this is the basic thing that you have to know. And yeah, that's about it. I'll see you in the next video.